Here comes the Christmas Express, right on time for Christmas Day. Good morning, everybody. It's Steven here for Bland Designs, and welcome to my weekly vlog for Monday, December the 7th, 2020, vlog number 196, or the 271st day of COVID. So let's jump right into things. I've been doing Christmas decorating, and I've got everything up. And I did do a video on this for my Idiot Quilter channel, and the link for that is in the show notes below if you're interested. My style of decorating is not designer. There are designer elements to it, I suppose, whatever those are. But basically, it's whatever I've got laying around the house and any new things that I've added in the year. Well, I pulled everything out of my crawl space the other day, and I decided to lay it all out on a couple of collapsible tables just to sort things out, to decide where I was going to go. I made a lot of Christmas decorations, as you know, if you were following the Idiot Quilter this year. And yeah, I made a lot last year that I sort of forgot about. When you see the video, if you watch it, and you see everything laid out in the tables, it looks like a rummage sale at a church. Okay? There is all kinds of table runners, napkins, placemats, quilts, little knickknacks, all kinds of stuff. I made a lot. So that meant I had to decorate a lot more than I usually do. Now, years ago, I used to decorate the whole house from top to bottom. Did I enjoy doing that? Not really. But I felt obligated, and I think we all feel obligated at this time of the year to, get into that Christmas spirit by decorating. Now, there are people out there who enjoy decorating. I know that. My mother was one of those people. She'd start in about November, and every room in the house was decorated, and she wouldn't take the stuff down until the end of January. She loved Christmas, and that's one of the sad things about her being in a nursing home right now, because those days are kind of done. I mean, not that, she still can't get into the Christmas mood of things, but it's not the same, okay? I mean, especially this year, we all know the feeling of what it's going to be like without family around and things like that, because, of course, Christmas is traditionally that about family. But I know this time of the year is a little bit hard on my mother, and there's not much I can do about it this year. I mean, we bought her some things. We'll deliver them over there. We can't go and see her physically. I mean, I talk to her every week on the phone. So does my sister. My brother gives her a call every now and then, but he's out in BC, so time changes are a bit of a problem. But anyways, back to what I was saying about my decorating. I don't really get into it. Well, yeah, I do. Once I get into it, once I have everything out and organized and ready to go, then I'm okay with it. It's the planning. It's thinking about it beforehand. I go, oh, I got to go into the crawl space and dig out all that crap. And then I got to sort it all out. Then I got to put it all up. But once I get it out and I start going to it, actually, I do start to enjoy it, I guess. So anyways, I have all this stuff. Traditionally, in the last 5, 6, 7, 10 years, I've downsized on decorating. I usually do one room, the rec room. That's it. That's where our tree is. That's where the decorations are. That's Christmas central in our house for us. We downsized from a large tree that we once had. We don't really have the room for it, although yesterday we were talking about this on Stephen and Walter Live, and Walter says, yeah, we could put it up. Well, we had the room. Well, we can't put it up because he took it to Value Village and got rid of it. It was a nice tree. It was a big tree. It was pre-lit, but it would take me forever to decorate it. And when I say it takes me forever to decorate, I mean I'm the one that does the decorating in the house, not Walter. He doesn't touch a thing. Mind you, he does the outside of the house. That's his forte, not mine. So there we are. And I'm not complaining about that. That's fine. Of course, you better not complain about where the decorations are, because I'm the one that put them up. Didn't see him do it. But anyways, so got them all laid out, doing about 3 rooms, decided rec room, I would decorate our formal living room, dining room, and I would decorate the family room, kitchen. It's all very open concept in this house. So I've done that. And yeah, I had a lot of stuff. It now looks like a quilt store. It's a quilting Christmas, I must say, with everything that I have up. So if you're interested in what it all looks like, there's a link to the Idiot Quilter that shows all of that in the show notes below. It's done. I don't have to worry about it again until about New Year's Day. That's usually when I take down my Christmas decorations. My mother, as I said, always used to leave them up from, every year they went a little later. She sometimes had still Christmas decorations up at the beginning of February. But for me, nope. I'm done with Christmas on New Year's Day. Bang, goes down, goes in the box, goes away, bye-bye. And taking it down is a heck of a lot faster than putting it up, I always find. Okay, so what else? Well, I said I was done making Christmas decorations. Well, that's not completely true. I am now done with making Christmas decorations. I finished my embroidery train set, and it came out really nice. And that's what I showed you at the very beginning as the teaser to today's vlog. But now I've got a little bit more of a detailed video clip in here to show you about the train. So watch this. So here's what I did with the little train when I got it done. I set it upstairs on my coffee table, back a bit, and I have this Christmas tree in the middle, and it just goes all the way around the little Christmas tree. I put some little gifts and things into the cars. Get down here so you can see the detail on each car. It's really cute. Took a little time to put together, but really it wasn't difficult. But the end result, I think, is really quite cute. Now these cars can attach together, but I didn't attach them together. I just left it like this so I could put it around the Christmas tree. And I think it looks really quite nice as a Christmas decoration. So really, how could I really resist that? It took a while to make, and as you know, I've always said this about embroidery, machine embroidery. It does take time. You have to have patience with it, but the end result was really worth it. So I've got that. I'm going to have to go out and find another big Tupperware type bin box, whatever they're called, because I've got so much stuff this year. It's not all going to fit back into the box I took a lot of that stuff out of from last year. So another one. And I have a crawl space full of old Christmas decorations, and we really need, they haven't been out in years, they really need to go in the garbage because they're bratty. They don't mean anything to me, really. They're not sentimental things like that. So they need to go when we clean out the crawl space. Yeah, we've been planning to do that for about 20 years. Okay, finally, Designs in Machine Embroidery came out with their monthly door, the dime door, and here it is. This is the December door. I've got it all stitched out. That means I have all 12 doors. It's been a year, one for every month. I have them all and they're all done. Now I have to put them together as a wall hanging. And I'm not really sure how I'm going to go about doing this yet. So today maybe I'll sit down and start doing some initial planning for putting this all together. Basically, it's going to go together much like the Starry Night Santa one or my Halloween wall hanging did. The exception here is each one is its own independent little house, or door. And so I may put sashing in between each piece. I think I probably will go that way. I could probably do it like an attic window sort of style too. That might look kind of cool. But we'll see. I got to figure that out. Okay, and what else? Okay, so you know, in my art journaling group, we have been sending handmade Christmas cards to each other and ATCs. The ATCs for the year, since we have not been able to meet this whole year physically, and every month my ladies have a theme as to what their ATC will be about. So they've saved them up for the year, and it looks like most of them have put them in these tricky little holders that hold 3, 6, 9. Well, they hold 9. They don't hold 12. So basically, yeah, I guess we stopped meeting in March, basically, and then we got locked down and everything like that. So yeah, that would have been 9 months ago. So anyways, here are those made by Anne, one of the ladies in the group. Very nice. I couldn't tell you what the themes are for each month because I don't remember, because I don't do them. And but they do, and they kindly make one for me as well. So that's her ATCs. They're lovely. And her Christmas card, which is equally as nice. And inside, very nice. These are keepers. Okay, I will not be putting them in the garbage. I've got to find a new place to put all of this stuff because I'm running out of bulletin board space for hanging up the ATCs. I have so many. So I have to rethink that. And this is Pat's card. It's really nice too. And she's big into foil these days, as you can see. Nice shine on that card. Very lovely. And her ATCs. Now, her ATCs, I do have a full year of her ATCs, so I guess she was behind or whatever. So she put some in a little bag like this, but here's her main spread of ATCs. Again, there's a lot of work goes into these. You just don't rattle them off in a minute. So, you know, they deserve to be put someplace where they will be appreciated, and they will be. So that's very nice. Now there's a couple of other people yet to send out their cards. Now I haven't checked my mailbox in a day or two, and it has just been the weekend. So I'm expecting a few more this week. I think there's 4 more to come in. I've got 5. There'll be 5 more to come in, I think. No, maybe 4. Okay, 4 or 5. One or the other. Yeah, math's not my strength. Okay, so that's what's been up this week. So I was talking about getting in the Christmas mood and things like that. Well, usually to get me in the Christmas mood when I'm decorating, I put on, of course, some Christmas music. And over the years, I have collected Christmas music from various sources. It's kind of followed the technological trends. I mean, at one point in my life, it was Christmas records, if you remember those. Well, if you're my age, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're somebody born after the turn of this century, you probably aren't as clear about what records are. And then, of course, the records got replaced with CDs. I remember getting a 5-changer CD player, actually Walter did, and we were so excited because now we could put in all the Christmas music in one thing and just let it play continuously from 5 different CDs. Then, you know, we entered the world of iTunes and MP3s and all of that. So then suddenly we're able to collect the music off the internet and play it on various devices, electronic devices, our computers and things like that. And now it's just streaming it from different sources like Amazon Music or Spotify or whatever. Another source for getting some good Christmas music that's free, that you can play continuously for hours, is YouTube. So here, I talk about that. This week's YouTube suggestion is not a channel, but actually a series of playlists. At this time of the year, we're getting into the Christmas spirit, so we always like to have some music playing in the background. I don't know about you, but what I used to do every year was look for all my CDs and get those out and organized, and I would have to change them as one played out and another one started up. And now, though, we don't need to do that. Simply go to YouTube, type in the search engine, Christmas playlist, and you're going to find literally hundreds of playlists that have non-stop Christmas music. You want something with traditional sound? You can find it. You want something by a specific artist? You can find it. You want something that's more modern, more dance-like? You can find it. So go to YouTube, do a search for Christmas playlists to bring a little holiday cheer into your home. So I did create a link to various Christmas playlists on YouTube in the show notes below. And there are hundreds of them, hundreds, if not thousands. There's also the link to Stephen and Walter Live. And we had a nice discussion this week about just this and that and other thing. I've kind of given up having a theme. It's just nice to chat. I think people, at least the regulars that we have on there, are getting much more comfortable with just, you know, taking the conversation wherever we go. And yeah, we have a lot of fun. So I hope you will join us sometime if you never have. Check it out. So link for the latest one is in the show notes below. And the last, or I have today I'm going to be showing you the last part of the Christmas box tutorial, but I have taken all parts of them, there's 5 parts, put them all together into one video and have put that up on my channel, and there's a link to that. So if you want to go back and review it, or you want to share it with somebody or whatever, and you don't want all my talk in between, then that's where to go. So that's in the show notes, and the book of the week, of course, is there too. Okay, so that takes us to what's pissing me off this week. Christmas shopping. Now, Christmas shopping gets my goat every year anyways. Now, fortunately, I don't have to buy any gifts this year. No, none. In fact, most years, I don't usually have to buy any gifts for anybody. I mean, years ago, I bought for my siblings, and I bought for Walter, and I bought for my mother and my father, and then the grandkids came along. My brother and sister's kids, not mine. I'm childless, and happy about that. So we buy for the kids, and then we decided, okay, it's getting a little much. Why don't we just draw names amongst the adults? Still buy for the kids, but draw names for the adults. So you get somebody's name, you buy them something. Well, that became a bit of a pain in the butt because you didn't know what to get the person. And you ended up buying something that was just crap that cost you a lot of money. And, you know, Christmas Day, oh, isn't this nice? When you're really thinking, like, what the hell am I going to do with that stupid thing? And, you know, then you re-gift it or gets thrown out. Like, let's be frank about it, really. Okay? So then we decided, yeah, that was getting a bit much. We'll just buy for the kids. Well, the kids have all grown up. So, you know, what do you get adult children anymore? I mean, fine for their parents to get them stuff or do whatever. They know them better. But I don't even bother. I don't. I gave them money in the when they hit teenagers, I get them gift certificates or money because, you know, kids love money. Who doesn't love money, really? Of course, there's those purists at Christmas time who say, oh, giving money or a gift certificate to somebody just shows you put no thought into a gift whatsoever. I think you put a lot of thought into it because you're putting it out there. This is how much I spent on you. I was thinking about you. Okay, mind you, if I gave you a $5 Tim Hortons gift certificate as opposed to a $150 Amazon gift certificate, well, you know, you're on a hierarchy. But so, you know, but then they get, you know, how much can you give? I'm not a rich man. And once they hit adult age too, you know, $10 gift certificate's not going to make it. So you just don't. And the kids understand that, okay? They've got it figured out. My mother's in the nursing home. We do get her. My sister and I go in together and get her something. And my sister was buying it because it's usually clothes for my mother. And I have no idea about ladies' fashions, what's appropriate for a lady of her age, what she would like. So I leave that to my sister and I just say to her, okay, how much do I owe you? Okay. So I don't have to go out and buy stuff like that. So the only other person left is Walter. And he and I don't give gifts to each other. The reason for that is, why bother? When we want something, we buy it, basically. So it's really no surprise. And this has been up and down over the years. I mean, when we first were together, of course we got gifts. It was sort of exciting, you know, but it was a pain in the butt. You know, you still had to think about what the other person might like. And then what you were always a little worried about when there's only 2 of us is, okay, did I overdo it or underdo it? You know, so you're trying to feel it out. In fact, what we did was, one year for that reason, we sort of said, okay, let's set a limit. Let's say we're not going to spend more than a couple $100 on each other, just to keep the playing field even. Okay, so we did that. Then another time we said, well, I don't know what to get you and you don't know what to get me. And, you know, we're just spending a lot of money on probably stuff that we don't really need or want, kind of a deal. So why don't we, this was my idea, why don't we make each other a sock and put little things in it, you know, and that kind of thing. Yeah, that idea sucked. Well, we did that once or twice. I can't remember now how many times we did it, but really, no. So then a couple of years ago, we stopped doing it, but it made Christmas Day feel anticlimactic, you know. I mean, yes, it's always better to give than to receive, but it just seems like you should be doing something with gifts on Christmas Day. And we didn't. So it felt empty. So we decided next year we would, but we still had the problem. What do we get? So this year, Walter said to me, what do you want for Christmas? I said, nothing. What do you want for Christmas? Nothing. I said, okay, let's just do that. We'll give each other the gift of nothing. And that's what we're going to do. We're not going to worry about it. In a sense, he bought himself a Mac Mini. I bought myself a 3D printer. Merry Christmas to each of us. We bought our toys for the year, okay? And we're not going to worry about it. Now, 2020, Christmas 2020, gifts for other people. I don't have a problem with 2020 in terms of giving gifts this year because we don't. I've already explained that to you. Other people aren't feeling that. Now, I get it. If you've got kids, Christmas is all about kids. You got to get them something, okay? You've got to. But you know, you don't need to go out to the stores. All right, the mom and pop stores need some help right now. If that's where you're going to buy it, fine, be safe. But people are going nutso again. There's a pandemic going on. They're flocking to the big box stores. They're flocking to the big department stores. They may be wearing their masks and all that kind of stuff. There may be social distancing, but let's be realistic about social distancing when it comes to Christmas shopping. People aren't thinking about that. They're thinking about, there's only 2 of those things left and I want one of them. They're going to go nuts for that. I mean, Black Friday was a prime example of that kind of thing. People still lined up. It wasn't as crazy as past years, but people still lined up because they needed to get those bargains to get those perfect Christmas presents. Well, you can still get your Christmas presents. All right, it may be a dirty word. It isn't to me, but to many people, it's become a dirty word. Amazon. You can get anything on Amazon from the comfort and safety of your own home. Yes, you may have to plan ahead. I would highly recommend you take out a Prime membership. You can take that out at any time of the year. I mean, I think for Canadians, it's $79 or $80. I'm not sure if it's gone up in Canadian. Yes, that may initially seem kind of pricey for that. But if you order from Amazon a lot, well, I won't buy things primarily if they're not on Prime because I don't want to wait for other ones. And I think people who sell through Amazon are tapping into that as well. They get it, that this is actually an attractive feature to attract people to your products. So you can do that. You can order from your local stores too. You got a telephone, call them up, go online. Many of the big department stores have online shopping and they have curbside pickup or they have delivery. So yes, you have to do a little planning. This is not for those last minute gift buyers, okay? This is for those of you that start planning your gifts in about November. But it can be done. And it should be done right now if you want to be safe. I'm dreading the statistics 2 weeks after Christmas Day. All the cases are going to be up for sure because people are going to be stupid. They've just got to get together with family. Just got to. Why? Why at Christmas? Why can't you get together at other points of the year? When this pandemic is over, why can't you have Christmas in July? Why? Sure, if you got little kids, Santa's coming, you got to do stuff like that for them. But you can still get their stuff online too. You really can. And you know something? Kids are very resilient. I know, I was a teacher. We coddle them, we baby them, we protect them. You don't have to. Not as much as people do. Kids can handle reality. In fact, kids can handle reality at times better than adults can. So, you know, you sit the little ones down and you explain to them, and I think I said this on an earlier vlog, you explain to them the situation Santa is finding himself in this year during the pandemic. And so certain things must be adjusted. They will understand, okay? They understand pandemic. They do. The older kids, no problem, really. As I said, teenagers love cash. Get them an Amazon gift certificate. Get them an iTunes gift certificate. Get them a Spotify. The kids are into music. They'll use those for sure. That's where they're getting their music anyways from. These kids today are much more astute at doing shopping online anyways. So you can do that. So there's no need to panic. There is no need to put yourself into harm's way by walking into crowded department stores with the possibility that on Christmas Day you wake up going, no, it's nothing. It's just a cough. No, it's nothing. I can't breathe. Is it stuffy in here? Yeah. And although I'm sort of being facetious and sarcastic, I really mean it. Do you want to be sick for Christmas? Nobody does. So stay home and start looking at the possibilities of ordering things online. Okay? And stores who do not have an online presence in this day and age, I don't really feel sorry for them. Okay? Because they should have thought about having something like that before the pandemic came. Because the stores that are going to survive are the ones with an online presence in one form or another. The ones that don't have that, and I don't care what the excuses are. Oh, it costs so much. No, it doesn't. Not really. It's the cost of doing business. You work that into your prices. You cover it. Oh, I don't have the technological expertise. There are lots of people that do, and you can hire them. And in fact, a lot like Shopify and things like that, they practically set it up for you, from what I've been told. So, come on. Is the 21st century, pandemic or no pandemic, you need an online presence to do business in this modern world. That is not going to go away. And as much as we might hanker back to the good old days when you walked in and Mr. Joe was running the general store and you could order your bowl of fabric and your big bag of flour and he knew you by your first name and put it on your tab. So, when the money came in after you got all the sheep sheared and the cows milked out there, and you know what I mean. Yeah. No, that worked in that day and age. It doesn't work in the 21st century. So what I'm pissed off is that people are going to spread the disease more simply because they had to go out and do their Christmas shopping, period. Okay. Christmas. Bah, humbug. Moving on. Okay, so product reviews. What's new? Well, I already mentioned it. Walter bought himself a Mac Mini. What's a Mac Mini, you may say? Well, it's basically a box. It doesn't come with a keyboard, it doesn't come with a mouse, it doesn't come with a monitor. It's a little square box. It's about 7 inches square by about 2 inches high. It's very slick looking. It has connections for plugging in a monitor. It runs wireless keyboard, so you get one of those. Wireless mouse, whole bit. Everything's wireless on it. He's been talking about getting a Mac for a while, but of course, he's a little bit afraid of it. Now, we talk a lot about this in more detail in Steven and Walter Live, so I'm not going to get into the whole discussion, should you buy a Mac, or are Macs better than PCs, or all that kind of stuff. Anyways, he has it, and there's been some cursing and swearing as he's trying to learn how to use it and how to transfer his files from his PC over to the Mac and all that kind of stuff. It is a brain tease using a Mac, but technology is, and it keeps our minds going. So he's playing with that, and I'm curious to see what it would be like for processing my videos when I make them on the Mac. I process them on an iPad, but of course his Mac will have much more memory and speed, so it'll be interesting to compare. I expect that on a Mac Mini it'll be a lot faster to process the videos. But I might try that once and just see what it is, but no, that's his toy and he's doing his things with it, and I can continue to do what I do with the setup that I have, and it's working for me efficiently, so I don't need to worry about that. I used to think I wanted a Mac at one point in time too, but I'm kind of over that now. Most of the stuff I do is all PC based, and Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. Okay, think outside of your box. It would be a bit of a challenge, but now that he's got one, well, there's a Mac in the house, so I don't need. What I'm turning my attention to is my 3D printer. Yes, I have been having a lot of fun with it, but even more so, I have learned in the last week a whole lot about this piece of technology, and there is a lot to learn. And I'm absolutely fascinated with it and the technology. I've had some problems. In fact, I had to order some minor parts for it because it stopped working. And I'm not really going to get into it because it's kind of technical and whatnot, and it means nothing to you unless you have a 3D printer. But essentially, the tube that you run your filament through plugged up solid, and I couldn't unplug it, so I had to buy a new tube. And I had to figure out how to put the new tube in, which wasn't that difficult. One thing I'm very proud of myself, though, is I have finally been able to figure out how to level the bed. Again, this may mean nothing to you, but this is one I'm finding out. This is one of the biggest bugaboos about 3D printers is leveling the bed. And I did not have the patience for it. Walter did, and he'd level it for me. And then when it went out of a levelment, I had to do it again, and I couldn't do it, and he'd do it. Well, I watched a few more videos, and there was one little trick that we found, and that little trick works like a dream. And now I'm not afraid to level the bed when I have to. So it's still a pain in the butt that you have to do it, but at least I can do it. I don't have to rely upon Walter to do it. So I learned something this week. Actually, I learned a lot of things. And every day when I do something on the 3D printer, I learn something more. I'm really thrilled with it. I am. You're going to say, well, what kind of practical things are you doing with it? Nothing. I didn't buy it for practicality. God, no. I bought it because it's a toy for big boys. Yes, there are some practical things you can do with it, but right now I'm not dealing, well, actually what I'm going to do later today is I'm going to try and print a few more mods, they call them modifications, for my printer as well. So again, I'm not going to go into details about them because it means nothing to you unless you're right into 3D printing. But yeah, it's fun and I'm learning more, and I'm trying to build my knowledge base up to the point where I can maybe start to try and design my own pieces. Now that is something that I don't know how far I'll get with that, because really you have to be able to think in three-dimensional space, and I did not do well in geometry class, I can tell you that. And I'm still a little bit 3D challenged on things. And yeah, I got to learn like CAD-like programs and things like that. Although I might be able to knock off a couple of simple things and build on my knowledge I gained from that for future things. But I'm certainly not going to be building a car on my 3D printer. Okay, model or otherwise. But yeah, I'm really having a lot of fun with this. And I'm still trying to figure out a way that I can meld together my world of quilting with my world of 3D printing. I've already told you that you can print certain things out for your sewing machines and quilting templates and things like that. I haven't done much of that yet, although yesterday I did print out a spool holder for a cone spool of thread for one of my sewing machines. I haven't tried it out yet, but I think it's going to work for what purposes I want. Now, those kind of things I will talk about in future Idiot Quilter episodes because I think they're more suited for that channel. So anyways, I'm having fun and I'm learning. And you know, and that's the same with Walter's Mac. He's learning and it's keeping this going. And at our age, we have to keep this going. If you don't, then you're going to be stuck in a wheelchair in a nursing home, something drooling. And enough about my mother. Yeah, I know I'm being a little cruel there, but that's basically what her life is. Yeah, it's sad. Okay, so let's move on to the book of the week. I'm getting low on my books of the week. I don't think I have any more hidden stashes. I think I might have one or two more books to share with you. But right now, I'm going to share this one. It's called Rebound, Creating Handmade Books from Recycled and Repurposed Materials. Again, this is a really nice book because of the illustrations, but there's lots of very detailed instructions and diagrams, what equipment you need, and it's amazing the things you can make out of stuff you'd be throwing away. So if you are into mixed media, especially, this will be right up your alley, because a lot of these creations use the techniques and materials of mixed media. Now, when I bought this book, it cost me $28.95 Canadian, and it's listed on the back as $24.99 US, and it even has a in pounds for the UK, $14.99 in pounds. So I looked it up on Amazon, and on Amazon.ca it really hasn't come down in price. You can get it with a Prime membership, so you don't pay shipping or anything more on it, for $28.24 Canadian. And I said on the back it's listed as $28.95 Canadian. So wow, you're saving what, about 60 cents? Less than that, about 50 some cents. But it is a really good book. And you know, right now, when we're sort of, certain areas are really in lockdown and can't get their hands on the craft materials as readily as they used to, and they don't want to wait to order things on, online sites and stuff like that, then looking around your house and finding stuff you're going to throw in your recycling box or in the garbage, this book might be a way to bring new life to those things. And possibly inspire you too and keep the head going, like I was saying a moment ago. Okay, so the link to that's in the show notes below. So this takes us to Works in Process, and it's my Christmas box album, and this is the very last part of this series. So the last part is to build a little album that'll fit in this drawer that goes on the top part of the Christmas box. And I told you before that with the correction that I made to the box, I had that accordion fold album that came with it left over. So what I did was I just cut it down because I like the paper, it's nice and strong, and made it into a small little booklet that'll drop right down in here into the drawer. You also notice I put a little thingy on the bottom so that when someone pulls the book out, they've got this nice little Christmas message sitting there. So when I put this together, it's just very small. I did bind it, well, I stitched the seam together, very simple, with some wax thread. So now I'm ready to dress it up, and what I did was I cut my pieces of cardstock, Christmas cardstock, the right size for here, leaving about 1/8 of an inch of a border all the way around. I have taken each one of these pieces and I have darkened the edges using some oxide, or not the oxide, the coffee archive ink, like I used on all the other pieces throughout this box. And now I just need to mount these onto each page. Now I did create a little cover page for this, and another one of those cut aparts, just cut it out, went around it with the coffee ink, and there was these little sticky pieces that came with a set, and I just found this little tag piece and I thought I'd just put it there on the side just to make it a little bit more interesting. I have, except for this one, always something, eh? I have already pre-taped each one of these to go on here, and I have them in the order that I want them to appear in the booklet. So all I need to do is just grab my double-sided, as I knock things on the floor, double-sided tape, and put a couple of pieces on here that I had forgot to do beforehand, but then you get to see me tape it again, so big thrill. Not. Now let's put that away, and let's get a bone folder and just varnish that, and then pull the tape off, and mount it onto the first page, or the cover. Okay, I did go around the edges of this little booklet as well with the ink. So now all I have to do is just cover each page, and that's all I'm going to do in this little booklet. The idea is this is just something a little extra that whoever has this will be able to put in whatever they want. Again, it could be for small pictures, there could be some journaling, whatever they think would be appropriate for this. That's the beauty of making these little booklets, allowing people to customize them the way they see fit. I think this would make a very interesting Christmas gift. Definitely something unique. There are not two of them in the world the same. And if you make something like this, yours is going to be very different from mine, I am sure, and that is perfectly all right. I do these to inspire you and show you how you can take something that basically was very plain, relatively inexpensive, and make it your own. Now, you could go to the dollar store and buy yourself, right, especially at this time of the year, around the Christmas time of the year, you can find lots of little boxes for $1 or $2 that you could dress up in a similar fashion. You don't need to spend a mint on this kind of thing. And I'm sure if you're a crafter, you have lots and lots of Christmas related elements in your stash which you can use for this. So it doesn't need to cost a lot, but it's going to look like it did when you're finished. Okay, so that'll drop in there. Now I'm thinking I should have a little bow around this. So let me grab my scissors and go to my ribbon. I always have ribbon. I'm not the world's best bow maker. If you are, then feel free to be fancy. Just fluff that out a little bit. And I'm just going to leave it off to the side so you can see the words. And this drops right down inside of that. And that goes inside of the top piece. There we have it. And then the top piece goes on top of the box, just like so. And we are done. Our little Christmas box serves now as not only a keepsake album holder, but also as a festive Christmas decoration that you could put on an end table or coffee table or on your mantle or wherever. So I hope you enjoyed this series on putting together this Christmas album box, and we'll see what we'll be making next time. So since that's the end of that series, that would suggest that I should be starting another project, but I have no ideas what those are. I think maybe I should take a look in this book. You know, practice what you preach, kind of a thing. And I don't know if I'll start one before Christmas or maybe start a new project in the new year. We'll see. So next week there may or may not be anything new as far as a work in process is concerned. Might take a little break from it for a bit. But I am going to revisit this book and see what's in there. I need some inspiration in that area. Okay, so events in the past week. My mother is fine. There was a picture of her on Facebook. The nursing home has their own Facebook group, and what they're trying to do to, you know, let everybody know that their loved ones are being taken well care of in the nursing home, and also to open up a channel of, you know, somewhat of communication with them since we can't go and visit them right now. They, whatever events they're doing in the nursing home, they post pictures of the residents, who participate in these. Now, my mother's not a great participator, so she doesn't show up a lot in these pictures, but she did the other day because they had a little bit of a happy hour. And it looked like what they were serving. They had little plastic, like champagne glasses and they dressed them up with little parasols and things like that. I don't think they were alcoholic. They were, I think they looked like fruit juice and ginger ale mixture or something like that. Something, fruity and sparkly. They can have alcohol there. And they used to have, and I imagine they used to have once a month sort of a pub night or something like that, or a happy hour there, and you could have, the residents could have wine or beer or whatever. I have a feeling that many of the residents don't partake in the alcoholic beverage part of it all because of, they're on a lot of medication, and some of that's not so good for the medication. But anyways, it's nice they had that, and they had little snacks, little bar snacks like cheesies and I don't know what else they had, potato chips or something that they had in little cups that they served to the residents as well. Well, there was a picture of my mother there. Well, when you know it, she's in bed, but she's got her little cocktail glass sitting on the little, roll around table that they have, and her little bowl of cheesies. My mother loves her cheesies, and, she looked pretty good. Now, it always distresses me when I see that she's in bed, but I think this was probably done in the afternoon, late afternoon, or middle of the afternoon, a couple hours before dinner time, I suppose. And my mother does have a little afternoon nap. I know that. So they had to wake her up for a treat or something like that. My mother sleeps a lot. I guess she's making up for the time she didn't sleep when we were growing up and things like that. My mother was always usually the first out of bed, and she wasn't really a night hawk, but we'd be in bed before my parents were in bed, kind of a deal. But we were kids, we had a bedtime. So I guess she's making up for lost time with it all. I think though basically what it is I'll say it. She doesn't have a hell of a lot to live for, does she? It's sad. It is sad. But in the picture of her, she looked good. I talked to her earlier in the week too, and she sounded actually somebody answered the phone for her, which was okay because I didn't get the hello, I can't hear you, hello. Seemed to work out pretty good. So I guess they must have located her ears for her and put it there. So anyway, she sounded okay that day, and in the picture she looks like she might be enjoying herself. It's always hard to tell in the picture of my mother because she doesn't like to have her picture taken, for one thing, and usually she doesn't take really a great picture. But I can identify with that because I'm kind of the same way. I'm not really fond of having my picture taken, and when you do, there's always something hanging out that shouldn't be. So there you go. So anyways, yep, Mom's good. So we had a craft and chat retreat this past week, and you may or may not know that usually that's when there's some of us that get together. I post the link for a Zoom in the show notes a few days before. We have it. We always have it the first Wednesday of every month, and from 1 o'clock until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's where we share what we've been working on, whether it's anything to do with quilting, sewing, mixed media, art journaling, card making, you name it, doesn't matter. We decided to do a different format. When I say we, I mean I decided to try something a little different. I decided to make it into a mini retreat. We just get together, I get the hiccups now, and we just work on whatever we're working on and talk as we work, chat. Sometimes we had silence because we were buried into whatever we were working on, and that was fine too. But I realized that this is really something that is inspiring on a subconscious level. Even though physically you're not with people, you are with people. It is live. And you can see what other people are working on. You can ask them questions or whatever, or just chit chat back and forth, just like you're at a retreat, or like a sewing retreat or quilting retreat or a crop, whatever. And so I asked. Actually, we ended up going until about 4 o'clock, so we went an hour longer than I had originally planned. I didn't want to cut it off, though, because everybody seemed to be enjoying themselves. So I did ask the question. I said, do you like this? Would you like to do this again? And it was unanimous. Now, there wasn't a huge group of us on there, and that's fine. The more the merrier. It doesn't matter how many are on there. But I did not record it. Okay, I know some people get uptight with that. And I also thought, quite frankly, posting something like that on YouTube would just be boring for the average viewer on YouTube. You don't want to sit there and watch other people working. Okay, that's, it's one thing to be one of those people doing it at the time, but to watch other people doing it at a later time, yeah. So, no recording. So, if you are hesitant about joining a craft and chat session sometime, but you're hesitant because you didn't want to be recorded or something like that, don't worry about it. We don't record it. And from now on, it's going to be this format. It's going to be a retreat. A 3-hour retreat kind of a thing. And you don't have to stay for the full 3 hours. You can stay for as long as you like. You don't have to be on time for it. They start at 1 o'clock, the first Wednesday of every month. But if you don't get in there until 1:30 or 2 or something like that, that's fine. It's come and go as you please. It's very laid back, very informal, no pressure. So I hope if you've been thinking about joining a craft and chat, but something was holding you back, that this new format will inspire you to join us. Because believe me, it's a great group. We're very supportive, and I'm getting to know these people much better, and they're getting to know each other much better. And so we're building a community here, and everybody is welcome. Everybody. So the next one will be January the 6th, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Monday before that Wednesday, that's the first Wednesday of the month, as I've said before. The Monday before in this vlog, I will put the link in the show notes, so you'll know how to get into it. So, yeah, that's what we're doing. And I've been having a lot of fun with it. Okay, so what else has been happening? Oh, yes. So, it's now becoming a regular segment here on my vlog is Wally Cooks. And this week, Wally made beef bourguignon.
There was a
and today on Wally Cooks, what are we making today?
Julia Child's beef bourguignon.
But you said that you found another recipe.
Actually, I had a recipe, the actual recipe somewhere. I have it somewhere, I'm not sure where it is. But it is different than some of the versions I found on the internet.
Why is it different?
I mean, I know basically what I did the last few times I made it, right?
Yeah.
And like for instance, this one I already said Julia Child's beef bourguignon, right? And it tells you to simmer the bacon in 4 cups of water for 10 minutes. The original recipe is not like that. The original recipe is to simmer it in a pot. This is closer to the original recipe, but even it's not exactly the same.
But you wouldn't simmer bacon.
No, in water. And then afterwards it tells you to pull the bacon out and fry it up.
Oh.
Which, I don't know why.
That's weird.
Because the whole idea to cook the bacon was so that you cook also to not just add flavor, but it's to cook the meat in the bacon fat.
Oh. So you're doing this in the Instapot, your favorite device.
I mean, I've adapted the recipe so that I can do it in the Instapot, right? So, but I mean, it's basically the same ingredients, similar ingredients. So I just use it as a base.
Do you put wine in it?
Yes.
Good. Everything's good with wine in it. And what will you be serving it with?
Egg noodles.
Egg noodles. And I see you must have got a loaf of bread.
So I went over to Sobeys to see if I could get some pearl onions. Sobeys is a grocery store.
Yeah.
And they didn't have any, of course, with the pandemic and everything.
Oh.
So it's going to be not going to have pearl onions in it. So.
Well, that doesn't really bother me. I mean, pearl onions are okay, but...
I mean, even in this recipe, I remember Julia Child's recipe says to add the pearl onions right at the very end.
Yeah.
And this one tells you to put it in at the beginning.
Oh.
which I would think the pearl onions would go mushy.
Yeah, they probably go a little bit mushy. Well, anyways, so you're going to put these kind of onions in.
Yeah, well, no, you have to anyway.
Oh, and in top of the pearl onions.
Yeah, the pearl onions are just extra.
Oh, well, maybe they're more for aesthetic. That's why they go in last. Whatever. Well, we'll see what it looks like when you get it done. Okay, at this stage, what are you doing?
I'm taking the stuff back out so I can thicken the sauce.
Oh, okay. Well,
And if I don't do this, then the meat will all disintegrate, and I'll have just pulled beef.
Ooh, pulled beef. Well, we don't want that. So what? You've added things in here since the last time I took a look.
Well, no, I put all this stuff in and then I pressure cooked it.
Oh, okay. So what's in there besides the beef?
There's beef and there's carrots and there's mushrooms and there's onions and there's bacon and
Okay. Well,
parsley.
Don't sound so put out about this. We're trying to show this to other people.
I know, but you're asking me a stupid question.
No, I'm not. There may be
And
people
bay
out there that
leaves.
don't know what this looks like. So I know it's there, but other people would look at this right now and go, oh my God, your sewer backed up.
It's like a stew.
Yeah, it's French for stew.
Yeah, well.
Beef bourguignon. French for stew. Stew from a sewer. I don't know. So you're thickening it. How are you thickening it?
Well, first I'm going to do a reduction by letting it cook down a bit.
Okay.
And then I'll thicken it with some flour.
With flour. Why flour? Why not something?
Or cornstarch.
Or cornstarch. And you will mix that up first before you pour it in so it doesn't go lumpy? Is that how you do it?
Yeah, that's what I do, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the way you're supposed to do it. So I've been told. I'm not a complete idiot, but
I don't know.
Oh, be
Sometimes.
well, really. Oh, yes, and one other ingredient that Walter forgot to mention is that there is red wine in it. Not this one. Usually throw in the cheapest crap you've got, which is usually what we drink, stuff in a box. But tonight, because we're having beef bourguignon, I usually drink white, but I'm having red with this tonight. And you can see what I've got here. It's called Deacon Estates. It's Australian, but I like to refer to it as Mike Deacon wine because every time I see the name, I think of Mike Deacon for some reason. Well, the name, that's why I think of it. But anyways, that's not what you put in the Bourguignon, did you?
No, I put in, what is that? I forget that stuff that I drink out of the box.
Oh, the cheap shit. Okay, so we've got cheap shit wine in there. Well, most of it just cooks off anyway, so I never know. Unless you make it.
Well, it's not cheap. It's $40 a box.
Yeah, but it's 4 liters. So that's $10. Well, okay, it's $10 a liter. Unless you get it on sale. And here's the end result. Served on egg noodles. Looks good. Haven't tried it yet, but I'm sure it tastes delicious. Where are you going?
I'm just adding a little bit more gravy to mine.
Oh. See, he's adding a little bit more gravy on it. So this is beef bourguignon with some, not freshly baked, but close to it, bread. And that's what's for dinner tonight while he cooks. So I'm going to wait till he has a little taste of it to see what the look is on his face.
I already tasted it.
Oh, so it tastes all right?
Yeah.
Well, of course he made it, so he's not going to tell you it tastes like crap. But anyways, it's beef bourguignon. And it was delicious. Okay, so what's coming up this week? Well, there are fabulous Christmas parties I am going to. Just so many I can't keep up with it. I'm running off to the mall to do all my Christmas shopping and buying fabulous gifts for everybody. I've got to get some new outfits for all these fabulous parties I'm going. Yeah, right. No. No. No, there's nothing going on this week. No, nothing. Well, when I say nothing, I am always busy. Busy with my crafts. Busy with the things, learning the 3D printer, who knows, all that kind of stuff. So, but no major events happening this week. Now, next week, next Monday, we're having our Christmas party for the Guild. But of course, it's going to be done by Zoom. So we're doing that, and I'll tell you all about that the week after from that. But that's coming up. I am kind of looking forward to that. But there isn't really anything else. Now I'm thinking when Christmas Day comes, I don't know. I have this idea that it's just Walter and I. And that's not unusual from any other Christmas for the last few years, but usually we've either gone over to my sister's on Christmas Day for Christmas dinner, or I've had my sister and I've had Walter's family over here for Christmas dinner, and that's nice. But we won't be doing that this year, of course. So it's just the two of us staring at each other in the Christmas tree. And I've said to Walter, you know, I have this feeling that I want to do something like a Christmas Day live kind of a deal, either on YouTube or on Zoom. But I don't know. Other people will be probably busy that day. I don't know, it'll probably just be a very quiet day. For the two of us, it will probably be just like every other day. I don't know. But we'll see. I mean, yeah, we'll do our own Christmas dinner kind of a deal thing for the two of us and everything like that. In fact, we've already got a turkey roll in the freezer. Yeah, we're not doing a whole turkey. I mean, there's only two of us, and I like turkey, but I don't want to be eating it for 3 months, you know, kind of a thing. And actually, they were on special back just before our Thanksgiving, the Canadian Thanksgiving in October, so we bought a couple of them in anticipation of Christmas. We had one at Thanksgiving, and we're having one at Christmas. And we'll do, you know, the usual stuff, you know, stuffing and I'll probably make scallop potatoes for us, and I don't know. We'll do that all up. And yeah, so, but this week, not too much happening. So, anyways, on that note, yeah. Oh, reminder, okay? We are doing a special S&W, we call it, Stephen and Walter, live Zoom Christmas special, a Christmas party. I told you last week, and I'll probably tell you again next week. That will be on the 20th of December at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is a Sunday, which is the time when we usually do Stephen and Walter live. I hope you can join us. There'll be more details about it when we get closer to it, but it's to have a good time, bring a drink, whatever it may be, what kind, dress for the occasion if you wish, bring your Christmas memories to share, whatever. And I'm still looking for maybe some entertainment, some games or something that we can play as well. So I hope you have a good week. So stay happy, stay well, stay in, because you don't want to be sick for Christmas. So we'll see you next week. Bye-bye for now.